Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I've got the multistrada back. If you're not sure where it's been, I'll explain in a moment. On the road test or on the drive, we're riding down today to a place called Motella, which is in Crediton in, I think it's Devon. I think it's past Somerset and down in Devon. And we're going to meet a few other motovloggers, which is awesome. But I've got plenty to talk about on the way, not least of which the screen, which I have cut into the shape of the Pikes Peak type screen, carbon screen. Not sure whether to paint it black yet though and have it as a solid black unit. But right, we're going to make a move. We'll get off and I'll update you on all the news in a moment. Well, it is the first weekend in January and it's relatively sunny. It's supposed to be sunny all day. However, we had a spot of rain, as you may see on the lens and certainly on the screen of the bike, but it's nothing too serious. It should clear up pretty quickly and it's supposed to be bright and glorious sunshine, which is all good at this time of year, and I'll take it as often as I can. We did have an ice warning come up on the little dashboard there on the multistrada. I think it comes on when it goes below 3 degrees. It is a bit brisk this morning, I have to say. I haven't ridden this bike now for 2 weeks, and I'll explain why in a moment. And even before that, I only did a handful of miles. A handful of miles to realise I love the bike. Sun in the eyes, can't see a thing. La la la, we'll be fine. Just point and squirt. There we go, we're okay. Right, so the bike has been with CMC Motorcycles, which is the company that I bought the bike from. Some very straightforward issues that needed to be sorted. I noticed that the front brake discs were quite badly warped, so I wanted that sorted under the warranty while I'd only had the bike for a few days or a week or so. So I took it over there. They mentioned the fact there was a little bit of a noise when I'm changing gear as well, but not from the gearbox itself, but from the gear change pedal area. They looked at it. They said, yeah, no problem, we are going to sort the brake discs out, we're going to put new ones on for you with new brake pads, and we are going to have a look at the gear change. We think we know what it is. It's something to do with the gear lever return spring that breaks, and a bit of a known problem on multistradas of this age. So they said, what we're going to do, and this is absolutely superb by the way, what we're going to do, it's nearly Christmas, instead of us messing around with you, you know, and not knowing when you can get over here because the weather could turn or change, he said, why don't you leave the bike here, we'll get the parts ordered, we'll put you on a courtesy bike for the Christmas period, and from there you can decide what you want to do with regards to picking the bike up when it's all done and dusted. And I got to say, that is some of the best customer services I've had in any business of any trade anywhere. So well done CMC Motorcycles. Right, the screen. So I mentioned in the previous video there was a lot of buffering around the helmet. So I was going to get a second-hand standard screen from Multistrada and cut it to the Pikes Peak Carbon Edition size, because apparently people have said that makes it much more pleasurable. You get much less wind noise and buffering, or buffeting, sorry, around the helmet. So I thought I'll try it. So I did that while the bike was away. Took a bit of a guess on the shape and size and height, so I didn't have the bike to line it up to. So far, and I've only done 55 miles an hour or so up the dual carriageway, which is a good thing because there's a police car behind me. But so far it seems to have made a difference. There's still a bit of wind noise, but I'm on a motorcycle, you're always going to get that. But there's no buffeting around the helmet, which is brilliant. So we'll have a bit more of a go on that on the motorway, just to see whether at higher speeds it has helped. I think it has. I think it adds the lines, or improves the lines of the bike as well, having that lower screen on it. The gear change seems better, much smoother going down. There's no noise, which I was suffering from before on downward gear changes, but not a clunking noise, almost like a buzzing sound, which they've explained to me was part of the gear change mechanism. What was really great from CMC Motorcycles is I picked the bike up, I was on my way out, and one of the service guys called me and he said, just hang on a minute, the technician wants to speak to you. Now we're lucky enough that, or I was lucky enough that they've actually got a false neutral. It's a Ducati, especially as I was just talking about the gear change. Brilliant. You couldn't write it, could you? It's a Ducati. Oh my god, I often wonder how people manage with only one neutral, because when I had my Ducati Monster I had 5, which made life so much easier when I wanted to park up and turn the engine off. The service guy came out and said, mechanic wants to speak to you. Of course that fills you with dread and fear. He's going to tell you bad news, but he came out and he brought the old part out and he explained what he'd done, explained how it works, and you don't get that anymore. You really don't. You don't get that sort of level of service and customer support anywhere really, not just in bike trade or motor trade, but anywhere. You know, people aren't given that opportunity to, because everyone's so heavily focused on time and, you know, efficiencies and making money, that they don't actually have the time and opportunity to give that level of customer support that this guy did. So CMC Motorcycles in Newport, I have to say, superb customer satisfaction, superb service, and they really went out of their way. Right, so we're going onto the motorway. I'm not going to do a long motorway run. We're doing 70 miles an hour now, roughly. And actually, I'm getting no wind buffeting around the helmet, which is good. So I think this has worked. This helmet's noisy anyway, so I hope you can hear me okay. I must admit, the LS2 Challenger is a noisy helmet, frustratingly. But it's a comfortable helmet, and it's got the Carl Fogarty livery on it, so I had to have it, and that is the end of the story. Right, I'm going to try one more thing while we're on the motorway. So my editing software that I use has recently had an update, and it's got something called AI sound. Now I hate AI, everyone hates artificial intelligence. It's going to take over the world, bomb our cities, and we're all going to end up in an atomic wasteland. But what it's got on this one now is noise cancellation. Now what it does is basically focuses on the voice and cancels out all the other noise around you. So I'm going to try that on this video, okay, in 3, 2, 1. And now what we're listening to should be, in theory, just my voice with no external noises to distort it or block it out or make it difficult to hear. Now, much as this technology is insanely good and constantly impresses me, what I've noticed when I tested it before was it actually disconnects you from the ride, in my opinion. So although you can hear me clearly, and it's quite nice if there is you know, other noise pollution around causing issues, what it does make it feel like and sound like is that I'm overdubbing this in a studio or wherever, and I'm not actually on the bike while I'm doing the commentary. So I'll put it all back onto normal in 3, 2, 1. So now this did all the noise, all the wind, all the engines, all the ambient nature sounds that go on around us at 70 miles an hour on the M5. So this is what I feel is more fitting to a live motovlogging environment. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think. Unfortunately, on the software I use, doesn't give you a chance to adjust it before you ask. A couple of guys I was speaking to, some of which I'm actually meeting today, they said, can you just sort of tone it down so you get a bit of engine noise, maybe a little bit of wind noise, but it keeps it very much connected to the motovlog. But you can't, it's either on or off. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's better, if it's worse. If, like myself, you think it becomes a disconnected dubbing of the ride rather than being a part of it. So I'm going to just stop it for a moment. I'll come back in a little while and a few miles down the road, and I'll explain to you who I'm meeting, where I'm meeting them later on today. So we are off the motorway now, and we're actually in Devon. It is in Devon. I'm keeping an eye on the sat nav. I've not been here before, and these are all new roads to me, which is nice. We all like new roads, don't we? And a new adventure. The screen was fantastic. No excess movement around the top of my helmet. Wind noises as you'd expect with a motorcycle on the motorway, but gosh, that is full, Jesus. So we are heading down to Motella in Crediton. Not been there before. This is a new experience for me. Invited down there for a quick meet by Epic Adam Motovlogs, and I'm hoping that the mighty Exeter Rider and the awesome Best British Motovlogger, according to the All Year Motorcyclists channel, Saddlebag 73, which will be an absolute treat to meet those guys. Unfortunately, a good friend of ours, New Biker, isn't able to make it. He decided that the 7-hour round trip from London was a bit too much for a lukewarm latte and a soggy burger. I don't know, I'm sure the burgers are great, don't get me wrong. I've said that now, everyone's going to say, oh, the burgers at Motella are brilliant. I don't know, I've not been there, I'm just joking. So yeah, heading down to Motella, completely new experience. I can't wait, the sun's out. I'm a little bit worried about this road, only because we have had an incredible amount of rain recently, and I think this does run alongside the river down there. Yes, it does. So I'm a little bit worried that this might have some sort of floods or fords or deep water trenches that I'm going to have to contend with, which is always worrying, especially on a motorcycle, you know, because nobody wants to get sopping wet. Yeah, you can see the river's down there now. It's quite high, but it's not coming over the banks good, thankfully. So I'm a little bit worried about this road. I'm going to take my time, enjoy the ride, put my visor down because that's quite bright as well. And now I can't see anything because that's misted up. Okay, the troubles of motorcycling. I've had to turn the camera back on just to tell you that this road that I'm on now is absolutely sublime, and it's dry and it's beautiful. I'm having a bit of a moment. Oh, look at this. The corners open up into straights that close up into S-bends, and the tarmac's pretty good. Love it. And I thought that all that Devon had was the M5 that joins the A38 to Cornwall. Gosh, how wrong I was. Oh, this is getting silly now. I've just taken a right hand turn towards Crediton and the road is getting even better. Oh my goodness. Do need to be careful though, it is a bit greasy. Well, not greasy, it's just a little bit moist. Yeah, that's a good word for it, moist. I know this bike's got traction control and all sorts of ABS, but I don't want to have to use it. It's just there for if I need it because of other people's idiocracy, not my own. But looking at my sat nav, this is coming up some glorious twisties. I had to turn the camera back on to share this with you. Look at that. What a view that is. All that this needs now really is a gateway. Oh, there's one. A gateway with a view on the way to meet Mr. Saddlebag 73. Oh shit, this looks like hail. Yeah, need to be careful. I think they must have had hail down at some point, and it's not pleasant riding through wet hail because it's basically like slushy snow and it's still icy. Okay, well, what a view. That's the important bit. Water. Just wanted to point out to you what we're up against now this time of year. You think the sun's out and it's absolutely gorgeous. I've just felt the bike just slide. I've gone through a little bit of a dip, and there's hail and slush on the road, or whether it's the water that's frozen up and then started to defrost now today, but there is stuff on the road and I just want to be extra careful. Every patch could be another. There's some there, look, you see. It's just, yeah, it's unnerving, you know, because you want to just go for it and you want to enjoy the road, but it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. So Motella is just around the corner. We're in Crediton now. We got here in one piece. I might take the rather boring route back, which is straight to the motorway and back up, only because it's probably going to be a little bit safer. Although saying that, if the sun comes out now, it should clear up any remaining slushy, snowy, rubbishy stuff. God, Crediton's quite pretty, isn't it? Oh, this is it. We're here. I'll probably have to turn around now because I missed the car park. I thought it was on the other side of the road, to be fair. And now what we do is a U-turn in front of a motorcycle cafe with other people watching. But it was okay. We survived. We survived. Right, not sure what the etiquette of parking up is here, but I think this'll do. And now I just wait for the big boys to arrive.